I don't even know what to comment on anymore. Everything's there for those who want to find it. There's nothing about this society that encourages truth seeking, but I would hope that at a certain point in time you're going to realize that the world you are presented with is not the world that actually exists. There's a fine line between what you grew up to know as reality and as an adult what you now know as reality, because we all go against our parents in some way, shape, or form. Not only naturally through rebellion, but through just sheer logic. A lot of our parents aren't interested in the same things we're interested in, which means that we have to search on our own what is good guitar playing, and what is good actual filmmaking, what is good writing, what is good literature, what is good doctrine, what is good theology, what is good truth, and your parents just try and set up a simple foundation from what they generalize the world as, and then hopefully let you grow from there. And I've just grown so far beyond anything that I was ever taught that I can't not reject my entire, upbringing. I respect it 100%, but there's always a certain point of brainwashing in any kind of upbringing, no matter how tolerant your parents are. And in fact, tolerance is one of the major problems of this world. Let's tolerate people who hate us. Let's tolerate things that aren't necessarily true, but other people have believed that, so we have to tolerate that. No. If someone asks you, you tell them what you believe you know is right, and then move on. I'm not about toleration. That's what Catholics do. That's what Catholicism is all about. Catholic, if you look it up, if you Google it, Catholic means to universalize. So what did the Catholics do? They universalized the pagan sun worship of all of their gods being December 25th with Jesus Christ as his birthday being December 25th. There's no truth in that birth date whatsoever. In fact, it's historical fact that Constantine simply said, hey, Jesus' birthday is December 25th, just like your God's, and that's that. Only through his word are you celebrating the Lord's birthday. Not that you need to celebrate the Lord's birthday. It's kind of a crazy mix-up, and it makes sense that there's more Catholics than any other denomination because they're the most deceived. And it's weird how the Bible says, love not the world, because that's not the love of the Father. That's the love of the world. And what is most of the world? Either not Christian or the ones who think they're Christian are Catholic, and they're just incorporating sun worship into their festivals, not realizing it's actually pagan, and it's not supposed to be about tradition. It's supposed to be about truth. Okay, and part of the huge, deception, like the 2 Thessalonians 2:11, God says, "I'll send a strong delusion that you should all believe a lie." Okay, we're being tested right now. Okay. And the world is run by the beast so as to perpetuate that lie. Revelation 17:17 says, and I'll give all my powers, and I'll give all my kingdoms unto the beast until the word of God is fulfilled. That's so as to test us, the wise virgins versus the foolish virgins. He's trying to weed them out. Who's going to face the New World Order, and who's going to get to be raptured and taken away before that terrible time? Okay, it's all about testing you. Okay, in that movie, I Pet Goat 2, it shows everyone who's doing the Mary worship with that woman crying, all the kids die. That's the church of Thyatira in the book of Revelation. All the kids die for worshiping Jezebel, which is spiritually to mean Mary. It's the mother goddess worship. Okay, the Semiramis worship. Okay, the Aphrodites, the Adonis. All the tree worship, that's Mary worship and Mother Goddess worship of the old ancient pagan times. Okay? Y'all didn't even realize that the Nazi swastika comes from galactic alignments. Okay? It's actually the Big Dipper in 4 different areas of the 4 seasons in the sky. And the Big Dipper is a big, 2. So if you have 4 big 2s in 4 sequentially equidistant spaces, that turns into a swastika. Okay, the Big Dipper is the big wheel of nature that the Buddhists did. They were sun worshippers. And then the old pagan goddesses said the Queen of Heaven turned the wheels of the universe, of the sky, basically. And the Big Dipper was the 4 seasons that they were granted, which includes Samhain and Osteros and, the Yule, which is Christmas, and Beltane, and all those pagan holidays, which turn into Easter and Halloween and Christmas, and all this insanity, There's a lot of history behind your so-called religion. The sad part is that Jesus has been corrupted by all these other ancient mythological tales that have nothing to do with Jesus. So when atheists are like, why would I believe in Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny? That's so stupid. They're 100% right, because it's not Christian. The Easter Bunny comes from Semiramis, who came down as a giant egg with a bunny-rabbit partner, a consort. Semiramis' consort was a bunny rabbit because she symbolizes spring and fertility and the sex worship. All the orgies these pagans had was all about the sex and fertility. And what are bunnies known for? Doing each other. It's fertility. And they obviously didn't lay an egg. That came from the Semiramis egg mythology. Don't get me started about Christmas, y'all. Or Samhain, which is Halloween. When the Druids would put people in the big Burning Man festival, all that shit, they actually put people in a Burning Man during Halloween as a sacrifice to their Druid gods. And the only way to get out of that Burning Man was to bob for apples. Except the water wasn't fun water like in a circus. It was boiling. So when you bobbed for apples, your face was deformed, but you still got out of the Burning Man festival. All these cultural idioms that we just take for granted as fun are actual from pure evil. And the exact occultish, satanic, I'll have to say, they don't know they're worshiping the devil. That's the thing about the devil. You don't know you're worshiping him. It is satanic. It's satanic worship. It's worshiping Mother Nature instead of the Creator. It's the creation versus the source of the creation. Okay? I can go on for an hour about this. I pretty much did on Live Me, but this is my rebuttal on YouTube to myself. I don't think that anyone really wants to study. I think everyone wants the world handed to them, so they turn on the TV to see what truth is for today. Truth is eternal, and actually, the more we go forward in time, the less truthful things become. Look at the ancient civilizations that have been hiding mathematical formulas for 10,000 years. And yet we think Archimedes discovered pi in 256 BC or some crap. No, pi was discovered in the pyramids 10,000 years ago. At least. That's just when it was recorded and what was not eroded. We got pyramids in the Peruvian oceans 500 feet below sea level, which implies they had to have been there before the flood, prior to 10,000 BC, which means there was conscious man intelligent civilizations before 10,000 BC, instead of a bunch of apes roaming around like our mainstream scientists want to tell us. The same mainstream scientists who say the pineal gland is just a piece of flesh, even though we have multiple studies of DMT affecting us and taking us to different dimensions. The pineal gland, the third eye, as Descartes says, I think therefore I am. The pineal gland is the seat of the soul, says Descartes. It's the root of consciousness. Your life is not in your heart, it's in the pineal gland. And you know what's trippy? You're holding an illegal substance in your brain right now. Your brain contains dimethyltryptamine, okay? And it's not meth, okay, at all. It just has the terminology of dimethyltryptamine. Your brain, the pineal gland, holds dimethyltryptamine. And DMT is a Schedule 1 drug in our stupid Babylonian anti-drug, anti-shamanistic, hallucinogenic, psychedelic experience awakener country. Okay? So you're holding a Schedule 1 drug in your brain right now. Tell that to the cops next time they arrest you for a fucking plant. Okay? Dimethyltryptamine is illegal because it actually It shows you the third world. It shows you the next reality. The same things that Swedenborg, a Christian psychic, was saying in 1700s are the same descriptions as DMT trippers are saying in the year 2000. It's the same descriptions. Well, I see these creatures, and they come out with these images, and everything is ruled by emotion, and nothing is actually tangible, and it's all visual, and everything is ruled by your consciousness and not a material reality. Okay? All right? Is that cool? Do you think that there's something to be seen there, or am I just crazy? I don't know. It's been like 10 years of studying the same shit. Have not been disproved. I've just been said, oh, well, no, that can't be true. Well, then what's true? They're like, well, we don't know what's true. Well, then fuck you. Oh, well, you don't know what's true, but you're going to tell me what's true. Okay? How about you pick up a book? It's the age of Aquarius. I'm a Christian, but astrology is real, bro. The heavens declare the glory of God. And if everything is planned out, Jesus plans your emotions out. He plans out how your actions are going to be. He plans out how you communicate. Weird. That's exactly what astrology is. Where your Mars is how you take action. Where your Mercury is how you communicate. Okay? Where your Venus is how you relate with people on a personal level. And just because you think those come from pagan origins doesn't mean Jesus still controls us through them. God predestined everything. That means he predestined the planets to be in those exact spots. If they're not affecting us, who cares? But if they are, God planned them to be that way, okay? Don't be separated by all these ideologies that say you can't unite. Buddhism is correct because it says to deny self, just like Jesus said, and they prophesied a fifth Buddha who would get rid of all the bad karma, sin, in the entire world. Okay, every religion is connected, all right? And the fact that 1844 said 5 different religions would have their Messiah return, and Nietzsche prophesied so many things that are becoming corrupt today. Nietzsche is that prophetic fulfillment. And guess what? Zarathustra was supposed to return in 1844. And what's Nietzsche's greatest work? Thus spoke Zarathustra. Just Google it. Zoroastrianism, 1844 prophecy return. Bam! Am I the only one to say that Nietzsche wrote that? Am I the fucking crazy? Or are y'all fucking on fluoride or some shit? Jesus. We all have our messengers and we all have our wake-up calls. This is one of your wake-up calls because I honestly believe this is the last year in which anything will be fucking... This is the year of the Great Tribulation. Trump is fulfilling prophecy, as the ancient hieroglyph showed in my last video with the groks and all that. Trump is fulfilling it. It's the last Trump and our bodies will be changed. Obama's going to bomb everything and betray everyone. And that's that. It's the same thing we've said the past 8 years. It's not something I'm freaking about now. It's the same thing that's been confirmed over and over again. I'm just freaking out that you fucking think you still have free will. All right, well, predestination is real. Christmas is pagan. God doesn't love everybody. God created ISIS. I create evil. Isaiah 45:7. I create evil. I, the Lord, do both of these things. And it's so as to test the wise virgins. Okay? Don't be a foolish virgin. Be a wise virgin. Realize America is Babylon, not a Christian nation. Realize predestination is true and God has a family and you can't convert people by knocking on doors. And realize that the world is run by Satan. It's that simple. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the most true. Why is the world bad? Why do bad things happen to good people? Well, there is a loving God, but he let the devil rule the world so as to test you, to make you think, oh, well, everything sucks, so there is no God. No, that's the God testing you by throwing the devil in your face. We're all Job. It's the book of Job, the book of Job. How much crap was thrown to him and he still believed. And that's what God was trying to prove to his predestined family. No matter what you do to him, he will still know God's real and that it's all planned. And the devil's like, no, I can trick him. And God's like, okay. And yet the Jews, they don't believe in the devil. And yet the book of Job is the Old Testament. The book of Job is one of the 6 books, or 6th, 7th, or 8th books in the Old Testament. And it's literally a conversation between God and Satan. God and the devil. And the Jews don't believe in the devil? You dumb people. You've been brainwashed by your synagogues. And trust me, I grew up Jewish. I did a 3-hour service in Hebrew. I grew up in an Orthodox synagogue, not one of those fake Reformed or conservative synagogues. I went to Orthodox synagogue. I know what Jesus' hypocrisy was talking about in the book of Matthew. Say, look what all the Jews did. All you Christians don't know because you grew up as a redneck. But I, as a Jew, know what Christ was talking about when he was calling out the Jews for their hypocrisy. And now I'm seeing it today as well with the priests. They're fucking Jews themselves. You know, the derogatory statement. They're being money-grubbing people and only doing it for their traditions instead of doing it because God said so. The whole Talmud is a book of trash. The Talmud gives you all these specific rules that have nothing to do with what the Bible was saying because some rabbis said it was the Bible. The rabbis said that's what God said to do. That's why you do it. That's no different than what the Christians or believing priests were saying. The Jews believe the Talmud just like the Christians believe the priests saying Christmas is Christ's birthday. Every religion has some kind of deception going on, and guess what? That's the genius of the devil, bro. The genius of the devil is to put some truth in there and to mix it all with a bunch of crap. Oh, but it has some truth, so I can't deny it at all. No, bro, you need to take some truth out of everything and make your own awareness. I watch the Groks. I watch Jim Brown. They do not watch each other, but I know they are both correct in their own respective ways. And I read Nietzsche and I read astrology. Nietzsche hated astrology. Nietzsche didn't like Roman Catholicism. But I know they are all right in their own respective ways. We're taught to be thinking one-sided. You want to think you're open-minded? Well, how about you read Nietzsche with the Bible, with astrology, with New Age, psychedelic 2012, telekinetic, psychic abilities. Read all the New Age stuff and then get back to me. I had that phase. Now I'm at the phase where I'm into truth instead of just wishing everything will be a modern utopia, whereas the world is getting shittier. Okay, I'm not about wishing anymore. I'm about observing and reacting accordingly. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, I turned 30 on the 10th, so I guess that's what this whole YouTube video is about. It's my midlife crisis, okay? Or hey, who knows? This is the last year of time. It might be my end life crisis.